Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live. Hey, Alaska. Hey, P. We got Crawford. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Is that Etobia? Hi there. We have Miss Cherie. Hi there. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Day. Happy Ishtar Day. However you want to say that. I'm doing great, actually. I just ate some dinner that I cooked for this wonderful occasion today. If you guys are coming in the live, make sure you like the live, share the live, you hard press on the screen and share to as many people as possible. And go ahead and press that orange heart at the very top of the screen. That'll make you be part of my team, and it'll also give you engagement points for your TikTok account, okay? So y'all go ahead and do that for me. We have 4 people in the building. I'm going to wait until we have a little more people in the building to get started. Today's topic is Awaken Your Goddess Energy. And there's a specific reason why I'm going to talk about this today. Okay, y'all go ahead and tap the screen for me. Let's see. Tap the screen so we can get started with the conversation for today. All right, perfect. Okay, so today's topic is Awaken Your Goddess Energy. Now, why would I choose today to talk about goddess energy? Although your beauty and being beautiful and all of that energy, hey, Miss Jive Turkey, is part of your goddess energy. I want to specifically talk about this today because, let me see, Lachette, thank you, honey. Happy Easter, Rail. I want to talk about this today because it's Easter, right? So if we have a certain understanding of the history of Easter, we would know that, the Christian religion, Christianity, took away a lot of different components and elements from other religions to create, the Easter holiday. And it was taken or stripped away from a pagan holiday that is basically goddess worship, right? On Easter every year, in the spring solstice, or during the spring season, at the beginning of the spring season, they would worship the goddess Ishtar, which really is the goddess Inanna. Inanna was the very first, goddess of the earth, right? She is the original. She is, is Venus, right? The planet. So that energy is being uplifted and worshipped on every every Easter season. This is why you have the bunny rabbits, the eggs, all of these things represent fertility, because she's a fertility goddess, right? She's also the goddess of love, beauty, and pleasure. Okay, all of this stuff goes way, way back to the energy of Venus, the planet. Okay, so this is why I believe it's important to talk about this today, to celebrate the inner goddess within yourself, right? The inner goddess within you, because that's what this is about, right? The divine feminine. This is the day to celebrate the divine feminine awakening within you, right? The resurrection of the divine being awakened within yourself. Hey, lady baby, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is the reason I created this platform, why I created this community, because I want, the divine feminine. I want all women who come in contact with my content and who read my books and who have coaching sessions with me to become awakened and empowered to walk in their goddess energy. Hi, Mo Money. How are you? I want to empower women to be awakened from within, right? This is why I encourage you women, you ladies, to use your beauty, right, to your advantage, to allow your beauty, thank you, honey, to allow your beauty to propel you to your next level, because that's what it's for, right? You have the gift of being beautiful or charming or persuasive or special, or whatever your thing is, that glow you have, right? The fact that you're stunning, the fact that you walk into a room and everyone stops. You have this energy for a reason, right? This is your divine feminine energy on the inside of you, that people can see and recognize. Thank you, Z Gang, that comes out. Now, what's interesting about the divine feminine is she presents herself in many different ways in different people. She's not going to express herself the same exact way, right? So this is why I do not ascribe to the narrative that femininity is a monolith, right? It has to present itself one type of way, right? Or you have to be a certain way or look a certain way to be considered beautiful or feminine. It's an essence, right? It's an energy, it's an energetic. And all of us as women have this energy deep on the inside of us. And it takes healing and ascension in order to see the divine feminine come out of you and how other people react to it, right? So as far as Inanna or Venus or Ishtar or Aphrodite or Venus de Milo is concerned, we all have this energy, right? All of us have this energy. It just takes us cultivating our own signature energetic code to see it presented out in our lives. Now, I know I may sound a little ooh right now, but it really gets deep, y'all, okay? So, and this is why I'm talking about her today, her energy, right? The divine feminine. Now, Ishtar or Inanna, her colors are yellow and green, which is why I'm wearing that color today, to honor her, to honor the inner goddess within myself, right? There are many different ways that you can honor the inner goddess within yourself, if you so choose to, right? So this is why I talk about glamour. This is why I talk about doing mirror work. This is why I talk so much about beauty, because it matters. Being beautiful, looking great, looking your best, it does something to your mental. It does something to the subconscious, your subconscious mind. When you are always working to put effort into your beauty rituals, your glamour, your mirror work, you are reprogramming the subconscious mind. And that will signal a message to the outside world, which is why people are going to respond to you in a certain way whenever you walk into a space. When you know who you are and you have awakened the goddess within you, the world is going to respond accordingly, right? Now, you're going to get hate, you're going to get negativity, because it is what it is, right? This is all spiritual. So anytime you are dealing with a spiritual matter, it will be attacked. That's just, we know this, right? But when you are operating in your goddess energy, you are going to start to see the world respond to you a certain way, because you've awakened that. You've awakened it within you. How do you awaken the goddess? Now, that is the question. That's the question. Let me sip. Thank y'all for following so much. Thank y'all. We got 44 people in the room. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Whew. By the way, I'm drinking some green apple Snapple. I gotta have my Snapple, honey, okay? So, let's talk about how to awaken the goddess within. Let's go. Okay. Before I go into that, what is a goddess? All right? Let's take it there first. What is a goddess? A goddess is a woman with great strength, great energy, and great power. A goddess is able to do whatever she needs to do in order to see her desires fulfilled. A goddess is very powerful, okay? A goddess is able to shift frequencies with her energy. She's able to heal. She's able to empower. A goddess is also able to destroy, right? Destroy things that aren't conducive to her or the empire she's trying to build, or whatever it is that's just not going to work for what she's trying to do, right? And this is the energy that I pull from when I talk about the things that I talk about on this page here. Is that a Barbie bag? Yes, it's my absolute favorite bag as well. Where I got it from, I totally forgot. I'm sorry about that. But a powerhouse is a goddess. A powerhouse is a woman that is able to do whatever is necessary to get what she wants. And she's going to do it in an ethical manner, right? Because a goddess or a powerhouse is about respect, morality, different things of that nature. Now, you can do whatever you want at the end of the day. You know, however you want to run your life, you have the free will. But a real, true goddess has a particular code of conduct. So there are certain things that she's not going to do to get certain stuff. If you know, you know. If whatever you just thought about in your mind, that is what I'm talking about, okay? So, how do you awaken? Thank you, honey. How do you awaken that part of yourself? How do you awaken the goddess within you? How do you do that? Let's talk about it. You awaken the goddess within yourself by going within. You have to recognize that everything that you want to experience in this world, everything that you want to manifest, everything that your soul wants to experience, the power is already within you, right? Then you're going to have to go back. This is what I did. I went back to my past, childhood, my traumas, everything that held me back in life. And I had to comb through all of that stuff. Go through, okay, what was the most traumatic experience that I've ever been through in my life? Why was it so traumatic? What happened? How does that make me feel? How did I react? How do I handle that part of my life? So every part of my life that was absolutely traumatic, I went back and just went through everything. This, boom, boom, writing it down, doing the journaling, doing the meditation, prayer, all of that stuff, right? Then I had to take accountability for the part that I play in certain situations that happen in my life. So you go from acknowledging everything that has held you back. Then you go to the point where you take accountability for the part you play in the things that hold you back. Then you take ownership of your own power, of your own life. So after you acknowledge, then you become accountable. Then you can own yourself, own your life, own your decisions. This is how you stand in power. This is how you empower yourself. All the mistakes that you've made in your life, you accept it. You acknowledge it. You take accountability and you accept. That literally just came to me. Oh, thank you, God. You acknowledge. You take accountability and you accept. Whatever mistakes you've made in your life, whatever paths you've taken that weren't conducive to your soul, what your soul wants to experience and who you are as a person, as a spiritual being, right? You got to acknowledge it. The more you try to ignore the things that have happened to you in your life, the more you're going to suppress how you feel, your emotions, and then it's going to turn into you lashing out or you not being able to communicate your emotions. We need to be able to do that. And we have to acknowledge, in order for us to communicate how we feel about a thing, we have to acknowledge the fact that that thing took place, right? Thank you, Coco Divine. So, whatever it is, let me see. Yes, I just want to find my voice again. And you will, Miss Tamia, you will. You definitely will find your voice again, right? So you acknowledge it. What is that one thing? And I heard her name is Dr. T. She went live earlier and she said this very thing. She talked about basically grabbing your journal and writing down like 10 things that have totally broken you and how you can get through it, right? So I won't even ask for 10 things, just 3. 3 things. 3 things, 3 events that have taken place in your life that have totally broken you. Those things that you don't even like to think about it. I need you to tackle that. I need you to acknowledge it. You don't have to acknowledge it to anyone else. You don't have to tell anyone else. Acknowledge it to you. Write it down. This happened, this time, this date, whatever. Okay? Now, if it's something that happened in childhood, I would say there is no need to take accountability for something that happened against you as a child. Like if you were abused or something like that, I wouldn't take accountability for that because someone should have protected you in that manner. So in that situation, you acknowledge and accept. But things that happen to you as you get older, right? Or you happen to have something happen to you in your friendships, relationships, whatever. All right. You acknowledge it, then you take accountability for the part that you played in that, then you accept, right? 3 things. This is a conscious work. It's not going to happen overnight or in 3 months. The journey for you to awaken the goddess, that takes time. Because, thank you, honey, because this is a journey, right? If anyone is out there saying that, within 6 months to a year, you can completely heal from a situation, I wouldn't listen to a person saying stuff like that because everyone is different and everyone has their own time to heal whatever situation, and then people process trauma differently. So I wouldn't even listen to a person saying stuff like that. It's all going to be according to how you process what happened and then how you can move forward from there, right? Yes, it's hard, but it's worth it. I just reached another breakthrough this week. That's amazing, Shay. That's amazing. Hello, happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too, Miss Michelle. So go through those things. So you acknowledge, take accountability, and then accept. This is how you awaken the goddess. Once you come to that full point of acceptance, radical acceptance. I'm not talking about, all right, yeah, I did that. No, radical acceptance where you accept everything about yourself. When you get to that point, this is when the goddess awakens because she's inhibited from the opinions of other people or things trying to hold her back, right? That's a goddess. A goddess is not concerned about the opinions of other people. A goddess is not held back by negative thoughts from others, or even herself, for that matter, right? When you get exactly unapologetic, when you get to that point where you are unapologetic and you are walking in your authenticity, this is when you awaken the goddess. This is when you start to manifest things a lot faster to you. This is when life takes a turn for the absolute best. Because you've reached a level of ascension or self-mastery, right? Where you have finally understood you finally understand yourself. Now, you're going to go through life learning more and more about yourself because you're constantly evolving. But once you get an understanding thank you, Chelsea. Once you get an understanding of who you are, that's a wrap, baby. When you know yourself, that's it. The world is yours now. And anything that you touch is going to turn into gold. Anything that you want to manifest into your life, it's available to you now because you've opened yourself up to the universe, because you've reached a level of ascension where you're able to be an open vessel for the universe to flow through, right? But until you reach that part, you're going to have blockages. You're going to have things that are in the way. Your healing is going to help unlock things that are in your energetic body or your spiritual body. Once you unlock those things or unblock those things, you're going to be able to open yourself up as a vessel for the universe to flow through, and then you're going to start to see things manifest in your life. All the right people are going to come. That those business ideas, you're going to have the energy and the ambition to actually start getting that stuff done. You are actually going to start seeing success, at the job. Your career is going to start to take off. Those friends that you want, you're going to start actually making friends, or that partner that you desire. They're going to come to you because you're opening yourself up to the universe to receive, because you are unlocking those things within your energetic body in order to receive it. I'm loving the nails. I've been drawn to this color lately. Thank you, Ruby. So it's very important to unlock that part of yourself. Don't hold yourself back. Don't think, because a lot of people think this stuff is silly. What you mean, the inner goddess? What are you talking about? Thank you, Amanda. The goddess. What you talking about, goddess? Anyone that has a reservation about goddess power, or how they can become powerful in their life, they haven't healed in certain areas. And it's not your job to try to help them out. They have to come to this point in order to understand, what we're talking about here. So I don't go back and forth with people that don't get it, because it's not my job to help them understand. You kind of have to understand it already in order to go further. You know what I'm saying? It's not our job to convince people that we're a goddess. We just have to be. You don't have to prove that you're a goddess to anyone. You don't have to prove your ascension to anyone. You're just ascended, and your life is going to speak for itself. Your energy is going to speak for you, right? So you don't have anything to prove. So when people come in my lives and they say stupid shit about, oh, you're not that pretty, or you can't do this, or da-da-da-da. Whenever they come in here with that shit, I just block them. That's it. I don't have to go back and forth because I know who the hell I am. You know what I mean? And there's a bunch of people in this world that don't know who they are. I wasted too much time trying to save everyone else. It's my turn. Exactly, Miss Tamia. And that's why I wrote my ebook, You Are a Pretty Powerhouse, right? Thank you, Remedy Spa. I wrote my book titled You Are a Pretty Powerhouse for women who want to unlock that part in themselves, right? To become the powerhouse that they truly are, right? Hey, because all a powerhouse is a beautiful woman that has great power, and she can manifest whatever she wants. And not only that, she's going to impact everyone in her path. She's going to have an impact on the people around her. That's a powerhouse. When you have power of influence, right? Once I stopped forcing everything, I surrendered an OMG. Exactly. Miss Shay Love. That is exactly true. I wrote my ebook to help women heal that part that's hard for them to acknowledge, that part that they don't want to take accountability for or accept. I wrote that for you beautiful ladies who struggle in that area. How could you take your power back if you don't know you have any? How can you take your power back if you don't know how to use it? How can you take your power back when you're not aware that it was taken in the first place? That's why I wrote my ebook. You are a pretty powerhouse. Thank you, Kayleen. Thank y'all. It's 7 chapters long, and it's not a long read at all. It's like 13 pages long. It's not long. It's an ebook. It's available right now. The link is in my bio. All right. I talk about levels of consciousness in the book. I talk about weird dynamics with people because of your presence and because of your beauty. I talk about that in the book. I talk about dealing with jealous women, dealing with jealous partners in your relationships, jealous friends, right? I talk about the hazing, the negging, and the negativity you get as a beautiful woman in the book, right? I talk about how these things can make you want to hide from the world. I talk about how these things can cause you to people please and try to get people to see the good in you. I talk about how these things can cause you to overshare because you want to connect with people. I talk about how to use your pretty privilege and the fact that it's okay to have it and it's okay to use it, because a lot of times people like to make you feel bad about the fact that you have pretty privilege. It's a privilege. A privilege is an advantage you have over other people, right? You're supposed to use this stuff. Your beauty is a gift. It's a gift. It is a special advantage you have in the world to use however you choose to use it, right? Now, remember I said a goddess is going to have discretion, and she's going to have a certain code of conduct and ethics and how she uses her energy, how she uses her beauty. So, there's a lot of things that I do not agree with that women use their beauty for. And I think because I understand the power of being a goddess. I understand that there's always more and there's always a higher level. Okay? So this is kind of why I stay away from conversations dealing with men in relationships, because if that's the only reason you're using your beauty, then you are selling yourself short, because there's so much more. There's so much more. It's so much more to life than attracting men, laying on your back, and getting money. I'm sorry. There's so much more to life than that, right? Yeah, we got to be careful with goddess energy. Exactly. Because there are people that are spiritually inclined that know you're a goddess. And if you're not aware of your own goddess energy, they can siphon your goddess energy and manifest, right? Exactly. They can become very obsessed. They can do things to ruin your life if you're not careful with that energy. That's why I always talk about using discretion, being exclusive, having more of a nose in the air type of attitude when you're a beautiful woman, when you're attractive. This guards you from people trying to siphon your energy, right? And as a goddess or as a powerhouse, you have to be mindful of that. You have to be mindful of the energy you exude, because when you're pretty Everybody wants a slice. I say it over and over. You have something of value that people want. And those that want it will do whatever it takes in order to get it. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. If you're not careful with your energy, if you're not careful with your goddess power, anybody can take it from you. Anybody. And this is why it's so important to snatch it back from people that have taken your power from you throughout your life. This is why it's so important to heal from past traumas so that you're not allowing people to continue to take power from you because you're not aware of it, because you're not healed. When you're not healed, you're not aware of your power. So it's a lot easier for people to snatch it from you. It's a lot easier for people to dim your light when you don't know you have a light. It's a lot easier for people to snatch your power from you when you don't know you have any power. It's a lot easier for people to take your value when you don't know that you have value, right? So this is why I wrote my ebook, so that you can know you have it. Not only that you have power or value, but the fact that it's important to take that back from people who have misused it and mistreated you for it, right? This is why it's important to awaken your inner goddess. So this does not keep happening to you. Until you awaken your inner goddess, you are going to continue to be in toxic relationships, toxic friendships, dealing with toxic family members, going from job to job to job, not being able to keep money in your pocket, not being able to sustain a life for yourself, not being able to do the things that you want to do. Until you heal those traumas, your life is going to be shit. You will have a shitty life until you heal. That is the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. Until you heal the little girl within you, until you heal the mother wound, the father wound, right? Until you heal from this shit, your life will be shit. You wonder why you can't keep money in your pocket. You wonder why you can't sustain a life for yourself. You're getting evicted over and over out of these apartments or out of these homes. You can't keep a car. Your friendships are gone to hell. You know, you're having a strange relationship with your parents or with your family, right? You can't keep anything of substance in your life. There is a reason for that. Every business that you've had has crumbled. Why? Why? There's a reason for that. Nothing happens by accident. There's no such thing. There's no coincidence. There is a spiritual reason why this is happening. And it's up to you to fix it. And you can fix it. You can fix it. But you got to do the inner work. This is what people try to avoid because it hurts. Doing the inner work on yourself, facing those demons, facing that hard stuff that you don't want to talk about, facing the past, right? Facing the fact that you were violated as a child, that's going to hold you back. If you don't want to face the fact that you were violated as a child, it's going to hold you back. If you don't want to face the fact that you made certain mistakes in life, it's going to hold you back. That unforgiveness you have for a friend that betrayed you. If you don't deal with that stuff, it's going to hold you back. Right? Or maybe you had hardship in your life where you had financial hardship after financial hardship. If you don't heal from that, it's going to hold you back. It's going to hold you back. Right? Maybe maybe you had a relationship with your grandmother that was very strained. You know, you lost your mom really early, so your grandmother had to raise you, or your aunt had to raise you, and you have a strained relationship with that person. Until you heal that within yourself. I don't know who that was for, by the way. Until you heal that, your life is going to be shit. Right? I would love your daughter. How old is your daughter, sweetie? But until you heal those things, those hurts, you see, that's why it's so important to have the inner goddess. Exactly, real. It's so important. And it is, let me see, I had a dream about her last night, my grandmother. Wow. I don't know why I heard grandmother, but that just came out, 21. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, you can always book a coaching call with me. My link is in the bio. If you want to just go ahead and do that, book a call with me. Just make sure she's open to it. I wouldn't want to have the coaching session if she's not going to be open to it. I don't want to overstep because she has to be ready. But yeah, I hear uncle for some reason. She's passed. Okay. I don't know. I just heard uncle. I don't know who went through a rough thing with an uncle, or maybe an uncle violated you or did something to hurt you. You need to heal from that. I don't know who that's for. I heard uncle, and that's just that's the energy I'm getting. Please heal from that. Please heal from that. I don't know if you're in therapy currently about that situation. I don't know. I don't know if you've seen a reader about it. All right, hold on. Because now I'm getting into my reader thinking here. I'm hearing things now. Now I'm starting to, I guess it's because maybe you guys your heart space is open. I'm receiving a lot of energy right now, and I can yeah, mediumship, exactly. I when I do these lives, I try my best to not go into medium mode, but today for some reason I am clairvoyant. I am yeah. Somebody had an issue with it. I hear the age of 13. There's something that an uncle did to you at the age of 13, and that is holding you back. I don't know who that's for. But if you're listening, you're not commenting, but you're listening and you need help in that area, you can book a call with me. I hear the age of 13. I don't know who that's for. Not sure who that's for. Hope I don't want to scare people away because the views are going down. I'll try not to go into medium mode, but I'm sorry. I hope you heal from that. But this is why it's so important to take your power back. I was violated at the age of 5 by an older cousin. And this happened to me until I was 9 years old by that particular person, because it was happening to me by multiple people around the same time. But that was the first person that violated me that way when I was between the age of 5 and 9. And I didn't tell anyone about it until I was about 15, because another situation happened where I was violated at 15 by a family friend. And I'm so grateful that it didn't go as far as it could have went. But that event gave me the courage to open up about the violation when I was 5 years old. And nobody believed me. Nobody believed me, y'all. Nobody. And what's crazy is the cousin was sent over to our home to apologize to me. Apologize. And I couldn't understand why that was happening. Like, I don't need his apology. I needed someone to hear me out. I needed someone to understand. I didn't care about his apology. I didn't care. I carried that with me for a very long time. I carried that with me for years. The fact that nobody believed me. And it made me feel like nobody cared. And I had to do that inner work and face that. I chose to go all the way deep and face that. Now that's not the only traumatic thing that I've ever experienced, but that was the oldest and earliest thing that happened that I could remember, right? Once I let that go, thank you, One of One Luxuries. Once I let that go, it empowered me. I don't have to walk around with that shame anymore. I don't have to walk around with that burden on my back that I was violated at such a young age. I can release myself from that pain and empower myself by accepting the fact that it happened. It happened. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't change that part. There's nothing that I could have done to make that happen a different way. And yes, it would have been nice to have advocation from adults in my life, but I didn't have that either. And I can't resent the adults for not giving me that. I have to accept the fact that it is what it is, right? That empowers me. The fact that I can accept things as they are. And thank you, Brittany, not try to make things what I want them to be to make myself feel better. That is real goddess power, y'all. Healing from that helped me understand myself and know that I am able. I'm able to do whatever the hell I want to do in my life. By me healing from that right there, that one occurrence, that one thing, I can do whatever the hell I want. I can achieve whatever I want. I feel like I feel like there's such a burden lifted off of me because I'm not carrying that shame around anymore. In my ebook, I talk about shame and I talk about guilt, right? We have what you call a map of consciousness. It was created by David R. Hawkins, right? And on this map of consciousness, you have all of these different emotions. And each emotion is connected to a frequency, right? And each frequency has a number. So as the numbers go up on the map, the frequencies get higher, right? And the highest frequency is self-actualization, right? And self-actualization is at number 900 something, right? 999, right? On the map of consciousness. Now, this is when you are completely actualized, understanding the self and able to manifest your desires, able to live to your highest potential and just keep going forward, right? So the level of shame and guilt is at the very lowest points on the map of consciousness, okay? Now, guilt in particular is number 30 on the map. It's in the red, so it's way, way, way at the bottom, right? You have self-actualization, which is 999, something like that. But then you have guilt and shame, which is way at the bottom of the map at number 30. Thank you. Is it Kennedy? Kennedy. Thank you, honey. Excuse me. And when I talk about in chapter 2 of my book, how people try to make you feel shame or guilt about your beauty, looking beautiful, feeling beautiful, accepting the fact that you're beautiful, enjoying it, all of that. They want to put you at that very low frequency. And I talk about how that is not going to help you in life. Allowing people to make you feel shame or guilt, or allowing yourself to feel guilt and shame because you refuse to heal, it's going to keep you at a very low frequency. You have to do the work in order to rise up out of that, okay? It's not going to help you. How can you attract things that are here if you're down here? You want that good health, prosperity, abundance, wealth, love, joy, peace, happiness, but you're down here in frequency. If you want things that are in high places, things that are of high frequency, you have to match the frequency. So you're going to have to do the inner work in order to rise up and ascend to that very thing. Okay? This is why I tell women to never allow people to make you feel guilty about you, about your beauty, about your power, about your strength, about your ambition, about your talents, your skills, right? Nothing. Don't allow people to make you feel low like that. And anybody that is trying to pull you down is what? Already beneath you. So anybody that's trying to bring you to level 30, which is right here on the map of consciousness, guess what? Guess where they're at? They're on level 10. They're trying to pull you down to hell. Okay? Hell is a state of consciousness that's very, very low vibrational. Most people are there mentally. Most people are living their own hell, right? Miserable people, messy people, people who love drama, people who love to be in mess, people who like to be a hater, people who like to spew out negativity to strangers. Those people live in hell. They live in a perpetual state of hell. And when they see you shining bright, when they see you doing great things, when they see you being beautiful, when they see you being successful, when they see you ascending, they are going to try to pull you down to their level, because it's easier to pull someone down than to lift yourself up. It's easier for a person to pull someone down than to lift themselves up. Awaken your goddess power. Awaken your goddess energy with ascension. You do that with healing. You have to do that. You cannot skip that step. This is why I wrote this ebook first. The You Are Pretty Powerhouse. I wrote this ebook first because it's the most important, right? I didn't start off with the makeup. I didn't start off with the beauty. No. Because until you heal this part of yourself, until you heal these things in your mind and your heart, you're just going to be a pretty face that cries at night. You're just going to be a pretty woman that's always in abusive relationships. A pretty woman who's broke, who can't keep money in her pocket. What good is anything I have to say if I do not teach about healing, about ascension, about accountability, about how to snatch your power back? All it would be is we're just sitting here looking cute. And we're beautiful, but there's so much more, right? And we have to be mindful of that. And sometimes, as thank you, Max, we're in this material world, so we can get kind of caught up in the shit that's around us, right? We cannot forget that we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And even your beauty is a spiritual gift. It is a like a material spiritual gift. Like it's like a 2-in-1. Like you can see it with your naked eye, but it has the power to uplift frequencies and do all these wonderful things. You are still a spirit at the end of the day. And if you do not handle or do not deal with the things of the spirit to help you in this life, you're just going to be a pretty face with nothing inside. And it's so crazy because I see so many women like that online and in real life. Beautiful face, nothing in, hollow. Beautiful face, but hollow on the inside. Beautiful face, beautiful, put together on the outside, but there's nothing going on within. Nothing. And this is why you have gorgeous, beautiful women who allow themselves to be used, mistreated for money. Used and mistreated to say they have a man or to say they have a partner. Right? This is why you have that. This is why there's so much of that. The collective has perverted the divine feminine, divine consciousness with this idea that, being beautiful is about using your beauty to get money from men, or doing all of these tactics to manipulate people, doing things to hurt people, but you got money so it doesn't matter. And when you've ascended from that way of being, you realize and understand that you don't have to do any of that shit. You don't have to do that. There are other avenues, other ways, right? And I've said this before. I think I said it on one of my videos about, beautiful women and their independence, in their own power, and how you've never needed a man, or you've never needed to sell yourself, your body, or anything like that to, thank you, as Alyssa B, thank you, honey. You've never needed to do any of that in order to get where you want to be in life. And this is not coming from a place of judgment. I used to, listen, I made that video some weeks ago about being pretty and broke, part 3, about how I was almost trafficked, okay? And how I involved myself in exotic dancing because I was desperate for money. I talked about that, y'all. You don't have to do stuff like that. When you, first and foremost, you're vibrating at a very low frequency. Those environments are very, very low vibrational. Strip clubs, being in environments like that, it's very low vibrational. I'm going to tell y'all a story. Listen. There was this one time, and this was back when I was living in Houston, Texas. I had to be like 20 years old at this time. I was dancing at this bar, this gentleman's club. I don't even think it exists anymore because this is such a long time ago. I had on, what's crazy is this night I had on a lime green, like 2-piece set, right? I had on a lime green, it was beautiful. A lime green 2-piece set. It had like rhinestones along the little bra part, right? And I think I had my hair in a ponytail. Yeah, I did. I had my hair in a ponytail. Thinking about it. I had like lime green and gold eyeshadow on. I will never forget this night. This night is the night that if y'all familiar with like rappers and stuff like that. His name was Lil Flip, right? Lil Flip came to the club that night. And I'm so in the club, there's like a stage, a main stage, and then there's like stages along the side of the building. And with mirrors and like poles and stuff like that. So I'm on the right side of the building. And I'm in the mirror dancing, right? Because you have to dance all night long. You don't just, you get on the, you do your one little number, 3 songs, whatever, and then you go. No. If you're there, you got to dance all night till your shift is over. Whatever. So I'm dancing on the side stage. I look in the mirror, y'all, and my face starts to get distorted. As I'm looking at myself in the mirror, my face starts to get distorted. It scared the shit out of me. I'm looking in the mirror at myself dancing on this side stage. It's like 1 a.m. at this point, 1:30 a.m. or something like that. My face gets distorted as I'm looking in the mirror. I immediately get out of there. I get off that stage, and I think I told the house mother that I don't feel good, I'm going home. It scared the shit out of me. it scared me. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. But I said that to say, that there are so many energies in these types of environments that are very, very low vibrational. And if you're not careful, you can become a host for these spirits, right? You can become a host for these spirits, right? I saw someone had a question. Are you still in the building? Now, if it's a very personal question, I'm not going to answer it. I'm not going to lie to you. If it's a very, very personal question, I'm probably not going to answer it. But I said all that to say that whenever you, because, okay, I'll take it here. There's a big difference between dark femininity and divine femininity. There's a difference. They're very distinct. Dark femininity and divine femininity are very distinct. It's two different energies. One is false and one is true. You have the false light program, and then you have the actual light program, or the actual light. And then you have the false light program, right? The dark feminine represents the false light program, right? It's false. Then you have divine feminine energy, which represents the truth, right? Which it's divine, it's light, right? Now, the dark feminine is all about survival and getting needs met. It has a lot to do with operating from your lower chakras, right? We have 7 chakras within the body, in the center of the body. The dark feminine, there's nothing, listen, I don't want to come off judgmental because I'm not a judgmental person. I just understand this stuff on a spiritual and energetic level. I'm just saying what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So you have your dark feminine, which deals with the lower chakras, which deals with your more carnal state of mind. So everything dealing with dark feminine has everything to do with carnality and getting needs met. If you notice, whenever you're talking about dark femininity or using your dark femininity, it's usually to get something. You're trying to see what you can find to get, to benefit from. You use your beauty or your body to get gifts, money, go on trips, travel the world, date, all this stuff, right? That's dark feminine. That's the dark feminine. And the reason it's called the dark, from my level of understanding, it's because it's dealing with carnality. It's your lower state of being, your lower chakras, your root, your sacral, and your your root and your sacral, really. Your root and your sacral chakra, right? But your divine feminine, you operate from your upper chakras, right? You're operating more from your crown, your third eye, and your throat, right? And even your heart center, right? You're operating from the upper chakras, right? You're dealing with truth, love, right? Intuition, insight, wisdom, and your connection to the divine source, right? Your crown. They're two distinct energies. Yeah, them divide trips never end. Nothing is worth your soul. Exactly. And they don't understand that they are exchanging their energy for profit. But once those profits are gone, they still have your energy. And with energy, it's not destroyed. You can't destroy energy. But you can transmute it. You can manifest with it. You can cultivate it, right? So the bags you bought with that thing, it's gonna get old, but they have your energy, they have your essence. Now, some people think this is it's a little too deep, it's a little too much, and that's totally okay. It's just not your level of understanding, and that's absolutely okay. And again, I come from a place of understanding this stuff because I've been there. I don't just speak on things that I don't necessarily understand and just have an opinion about it. Nah, if I'm speaking about something, it's typically because I have experience in it. I have experience in it. But I understand, as far as your divine feminine energy, that it's for you. Your divine femininity is yours. You don't exchange that energy for profit with some guy. You know what I mean? You take that energy and you use it to empower others. And in whatever endeavors you choose, business, whatever, you'll see your monetary gains that way. You know what I'm saying? Awaken the goddess within you by healing your inner trauma and not allowing your inner trauma to dictate everything that you do. Heal your trauma so that you're not moving in the world desperately trying to get things done. Or, you can tell a woman hasn't healed when she's desperate for money, and when she's desperate for a man, and when she's just desperate in life, period. There's something going on there. When you're not able to rest and allow the universe to do the things that are necessary in that situation. Or when a woman is completely unorganized and can't get her life in order and there's no structure, you're dealing with a person that is not healed. Healed to get out of flight or flight, get out of survival mode. Exactly, Miss Heather. And the thing they teach as far as survival mode is that there's some dude that's supposed to take you out of survival mode. No. There's no knight in shining armor that's going to take you out of survival mode. You take yourself out of survival mode with your own healing, right? And taking authority over your life, and you going out there and getting what God has for you. That's how you take yourself out of survival mode. A goddess is going to have it whether a man is there or not, whether a woman is there or not, or whoever's there or not. Okay? A goddess is very resourceful. Thank you, Miss Jackson. A goddess is very resourceful. A powerhouse is very resourceful. A powerhouse is going to get it done. You hear me? And she's going to know how to exert her energy in order to do it. Got to rewrite the subconscious mind and re-regulate your nervous system. Right. You do. And you do that through your healing, right? Doing that inner work on yourself. This is how you awaken the goddess, right? I had almost 50 people in here when I first started talking. When I started talking about healing, half the room left. Over half the room left when I started talking about healing. Nobody wants to heal. People just want the results. They want to look good, and they want the success. They don't want what it's going to take to get there. Every time I start talking about healing, like really doing the inner work, people start leaving. Because this is the shit that people refuse to do. And they wonder why their life is the way it is. They wonder why. I tuned in right when you started talking about healing. I know I was meant to see it. And I'm glad you're here, Max. I'm glad you stayed. Right? And this is how you know who's serious and who's not. Inner work is the ticket. It is. That's the key. That's literally the key. You have to heal. You gotta let the hurt go. Let the pain go. Free yourself. That's what it means to free yourself. You have to let those things go. You have to surrender, right? Surrender yourself to the divine, to the universe, and let all that shit go. It's holding you back. I'm practicing mindful discernment. Pressing that block button was the most scariest and empowering thing. I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you did it. It'll change your entire life. You are absolutely correct, Miss Heather. It will definitely change your life. Hey, baby.
Hey.
What you got going on?
Studying.
You studying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love you. I'm talking to the ladies. Don't give me a kiss.
Okay.
You're all coughing and stuff.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you more.
Baby, come on now.
My bad.
She's so silly. What's the best way to begin your healing journey? I'm glad you asked, Miss Melanie. So I need you to go back to the very, very, very beginning. Very start. I need you to go back to when you were a small child, and I need you to think about the most traumatic thing that you have ever gone through in your childhood. I need you to write it on a piece of paper. Get you a journal. All right. Here's my journal. Here's my ink pen. All right. I would suggest getting a journal that's really pretty. It's going to really elevate your energy once you're doing this stuff. All right. Get your journal. Get your pen. I need you to write down the most traumatic experience that you've ever had in your childhood. It's going to hurt. Let's see. EMDR, EFT tapping. That's really good too, actually, the tapping. Right? I would say that could come a little bit after you do this part. This part right here, it's like these are the fundamentals. Like writing is easy. We've all been blessed with the ability to write. Get your pen and paper and you write that situation down. Then once you write it down, I need you to write down how it made you feel or how this situation makes you feel. You don't need to show anybody this stuff. You don't need to discuss it. This is not a conversation you need to have with anybody unless it's your therapist. But you write it down. How did it make you feel? Right? And I need you to accept it. It's one thing to acknowledge a thing, but to accept it, that's a whole nother situation. I need you to accept that it happened. Like, it happened. And there's nothing you can do to change it. I need you to... This is also going to help you with understanding what you can and can't control. Thank you, Ray. Because there are so many things that we can't control that happen to us. But there are so many things that we can control within ourselves, right? The reason many of us can't heal from our past is because, thank you, we can't change it. So we go through this process in our mind where we constantly think about that thing because we can't get over the fact that it happened. The breakup happened. The violation happened. The way your mother treated you happened. What happened with that uncle happened. The divorce happened. The teen pregnancy happened. The mistakes happened. It happened. You cannot change it. That's the hardest thing is acceptance. I've suppressed it for so long. Right, Miss Melanie? That's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing. Because as women especially, we want things to be how we want them to be. We don't want to accept things as they are. That's very hard to do as a woman. Because most of us walk around with rose-colored glasses. And in the situation that happened to us that are bad, we want to ignore it because we don't want to face it because it hurts too bad. What happened to you as a child was not your fault. but it's your responsibility as an adult to heal. Exactly. Yes, and you would want the right, genuine person around when going through these things. Exactly. What happens to us when we're children, they're not our fault. We have to start there because that's the foundation. I always tell a person when it comes to your healing, don't start from 6 months ago. Get to the very root of the thing. I need you to think about the 3 years old, 7 years old. I need you to go there. I need you to go into the energy of you as a child and go there. Then you'll be able to go up from there. You know what I mean? Kind of like when you're dealing with the chakras. Many people try to start with the third eye. You start with the root chakra, then you go up. Become the woman that would have protected you as a child. Right. And you do that when you go back to your own childhood and you work all that stuff out. It may take a while. It's gonna hurt like hell. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. That's not an easy process. It could be something as simple as you grew up poor. Maybe you grew up in an environment that had a lack mindset or scarcity mindset, right? You grew up with a lot of siblings and there wasn't much food, right? Or maybe you guys didn't have furniture. It could be anything, y'all. My inner child and I, the healing is taking time. Exactly. Fully agree. Your root is your foundation for everything. Exactly. There's always an answer to every little thing. And it starts at the very, very root of a thing. The flower blooms with the seed. It doesn't start at the petals. It starts at the seed. So you got to go to the very, very, very bottom and dig it up. Pull the weeds out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you heal. All healing is accepting what happened. That's really all healing is. When you accept that things took place. When you accept it and all right, now you can move forward from there. But if you can't move forward from acknowledgement and accountability, if you can't move forward from there, you will never heal. If you can just acknowledge a thing, but you won't accept it, you won't heal. You have to be able to accept it. Radical acceptance, meaning that you accept every part of yourself and your life. Every part. The good, the bad, the ugly, the things that you try to hide from people. I need you to accept it all. I need you to accept every part of yourself. I need you to accept every part of your story. Thank you, Nikki. I need you to accept it all. This is going to empower you. And this is also going to empower you when people come against you with negativity. When you've accepted yourself, there is no one that is going to be able to expose you about things because you've already dealt with that shit. You've already dealt with it. If you've already dealt with an issue or a thing, there won't be a person that will be able to come to you trying to expose something about you because you've already dealt with that thing. You've already accepted that about yourself. Thank you, Miss Fran. Thank you, Nikki. When you've dealt with certain things in your life, when you've really accepted it, people won't be able to come at you trying to expose stuff. Yeah, she's all successful now. She's doing this now, but 10 years ago, she did this. 2 years ago, she did that. 5 years ago. It's like, that was 5 years ago. That was 2 years ago. It's not happening now. I've accepted that. And I've grown from that. I moved forward from that. People love to live in your past. This is such great advice. No problem, Melanie. People love to live in your past. Notice the people that still live in your past. You've moved on. but they're still living there. Don't go with them. They want you to come with them to your past so that you can feel that guilt and shame and they can feel good about themselves. This is the way people take power from you. When they try to invite you to your past address, because they're having a party in your past. Found your life at the right time. I'm glad you're here, honey. That's where they should stay. Right, exactly. People love to live in your past. Yeah, I remember, when she used to sleep around with these guys, she had an OF page, and I remember when she did this, and I remember she used to steal, I remember when she used to do this, I remember when she used to fight, and I remember they love to live in your past. But when you accept that part of yourself, because we all have certain parts of ourselves that we don't like to necessarily go jump out there with. Once you learn how to accept that part of yourself, no one can come against you. No one. They won't be able to try to expose you or dox you or try to bring up an old situation about you because you've already accepted it. It's like, okay, I dealt with that years ago. Why are we still talking about it? This is old news. They love to bring up old news. When you are ascending, and this is definitely going to happen. Thank you, Brenda. Whenever you have learned to accept yourself and your life and you ascend and you are walking in your goddess energy, there are going to be people that want to expose who you used to be. Happy Sunday, honey. They're going to want to go over who you used to be. Yeah, she doing all this now, but look who she used to be. And when you're unbothered, when you don't concern yourself with what they're saying, nobody's going to be listening to them anyway. Right? Back to them trying to humble you versus support your growth. Exactly. Hi, Alaska. Jealousy. Exactly. I'm well. Thank you, honey. That's all it is. When they see that light on you and you're walking in your goddess energy, you're the pretty powerhouse that you are, they're going to want to bring up stuff that happened back in 2010. It's like, honey, it's 2025. Why are you bringing up what happened in 2010? That happened in 2010. Yeah, she doing this, but I remember when she was like this and she did that and da-da-da-da. My whole family, I'm the child from a past relationship and have always been treated differently. I'm sorry to hear that, honey. And that situation isn't even your fault. That's not even, you have no control over that. You have no control over that at all, but that's how people are. They love to live in your past. They love to live in your past. Like I said in my video yesterday, I had my very first child when, I was a senior in high school. And for many years, that was the tagline for me, Teen mom, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not taking care of my child right, just all kind of crap, right? Until I accepted the fact that situation happened. I did have a child young. Once I owned that part of myself, nothing that people said bothered me anymore. You low-key remind me of Chloe. Oh, thank you, honey. Once I accepted that about myself, it was just like, it's like, who the hell cares? Okay. And so what? This is why you have to awaken that inner goddess. It's going to make you unbothered. Your inner goddess, right? Your pretty powerhouse energy is going to make you so unbothered. It's just going to empower you to just stand. No one can break you. When you know yourself, when you're self-actualized, when you understand who you are on an energetic and spiritual level, you're not going to care what people think. You're not going to care about their opinions. You're not going to care when they bring up old shit about your life. You're not going to care. You're like, okay, and so what? because they want to bring you down. They want you to feel shame and guilt. And remember, I told y'all on the map of consciousness, shame and guilt is at the very, very, very bottom of the map, right? Enlightenment and self-actualization is at the very, very top, the 900s. Shame and guilt is in the 20s and 30s. They want you to be at a very, very low vibration. You want to know why they want you there? Because that's where they are. They're in hell. Mentally in their own hell, trying to pull you down to their level. And anyone trying to pull you down is already beneath you. Remember that. Anybody trying to pull you down is already beneath you. It doesn't matter who they are. Family member, a so-called friend, your significant other, it doesn't matter. Think about it. Anybody who has ever come against you, they're miserable. They're beneath you. Just think about it for 1 second. Just think. There's not too many people that are ascended, that are rising up, that are on a more positive frequency, right? They don't really have the time or the energy to try to pull someone down because they're too busy being up there. Right? So it's always going to be somebody beneath you that's going to try to pull you down to that very, very low frequency so that you can feel those negative emotions, right? And sometimes our own thoughts can lead us to feel those emotions for a long period of time. You can't allow yourself to be in hell like that, to be in agony and misery like that because of a situation that happened to you, because of a mistake you made. You have to heal. Heal so that you can come out of your own hell. Are you an Abraham Hicks and Dr. Joe Dispenza fan too? Love Abraham Hicks. I haven't heard too much of Joe Dispenza. Haven't heard too much from him, but I love Abraham Hicks. Love. You have to heal to come out of hell. Y'all put that in the chat. Heal to come out of hell. Heal to come out of hell. Y'all put that in the chat. Heal to come out of hell. Heal to come out of hell. Exactly. Heal to come out of hell. That's the only way through, y'all. That's the only way that you are going to awaken your goddess, right? Because we all want to get to the promised land, right? What's the promised land? That's the life of our desires, right? That's the land of milk and honey in the Bible, right? The land of milk and honey. That's our ascension. That's our heaven. That's our paradise, right here on earth. The life we truly want to experience. The only way we're going to get there is if we do the work. How do you do the work? You got to go in here. You got to go inward. We usually search and do things on the outside of us, but that's it's not out there. It's in here. It's really hard to go within because you don't want to see that stuff. What can you do daily to raise your vibration and frequency? I would highly suggest doing daily affirmations and meditation. I would highly suggest that. And it doesn't have to be crisscross applesauce, you in a corner somewhere meditating. No, just being in a quiet state for just a moment, for just a few minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Like before you get out of bed, you sit up and you get quiet, right? Do your breathing techniques, your breath work, right? Breath work is amazing. Breath work is amazing, especially if you're a person that deals with a lot of anxiety, right? Do your breath work. I may do a live on that one day to show you guys how to do breath work. It's really, really simple, but do that. Another way you can raise your vibration is to listen to soft music in the morning. It can be binaural beats, or it can be like jazz music, something soft piano, something with harps in it, something that is going to make you awaken in the morning, right? OMG, random question. Have you done your numerology? Yes, I have. I'm going to try it tomorrow. Y'all try that. Let me see, solfeggio frequencies as well. Right. I like to listen to the heart frequency. I think is it the 432 hertz? Is it 432 or is it 532? I don't remember. But whatever the frequency music is for the heart center, I love listening to that. Like sometimes I have to put my phone down. Yeah, it's one of those, the 432 or the 528 hertz. I think one of those is for the heart center. I love to listen to that. Sometimes I have to put my phone down and, turn that frequency on to shut my brain off, like to just put myself in a state where I'm going to go to sleep, because my mind is always running. So I have to put the phone away and just get back in that state of being in the moment and allow myself to rest my brain. You know what I'm saying? But that'll definitely keep your vibrations high. Another thing too is the way you decorate your home, the way you decorate your space, or the way you clean your space, that is definitely going to help you as well. Like if you keep your space relatively, clean and neat, that'll definitely help you too. I'm learning that your numerology is very important and it's tracked by certain agencies. Right, you're right. I sleep to solfeggio frequencies or self-affirmations as well. Right. I like to, I forget the name of it, but I'll have to look it up. It's on my YouTube. I like to listen to it at night sometimes to have a peaceful sleep. Peaceful sleep. And then in the morning, I get up and I just kind of sit for a moment before I start my day. I don't do it every single morning, but if I feel like I need to just kind of regroup before I actually start my day, then I'll sit up in my bed and just take it all in, that I'm in the moment. I'm grateful for being alive today, and just take it all in before I actually start going about my day. Right? Sometimes I'll do yoga. Sometimes I'll read some scriptures. Sometimes I'll do daily affirmations. It just depends. But those things do help. Journaling. Journaling in the morning. Journaling early in the morning. And just, you can journal about the dream you just had last night, or just what you expect from the day. That is going to help. I know for a fact that helps with my vibration, like raising my vibration in the morning. Journal. Get up first thing in the morning and just start writing. Definitely. That definitely helps. Most definitely helps. Absolutely. So y'all get the book. You Are a Pretty Powerhouse. I'm currently working on 2 ebooks at the moment. One about glamour magic and another one about another thing that I'll be talking to y'all about. But I'm really glad I came out with this book first, because it helps heal and empower. Listening to Abraham Hicks morning meditations, or Everything is Working for Me YouTube. Yeah, I like those. I like to listen to Reverend Ike. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He was a preacher that started out back in the 60s, the late 60s, early 70s. So absolutely amazing. He passed away back in 2009, I believe. Absolutely amazing. His he was a pastor, a Baptist pastor. But they said that he was the first, he was basically the first prosperity gospel preacher. But the way that he preaches from the Bible is from an esoteric standpoint. And I love that, because that's how I read the Bible, from an esoteric standpoint. like hidden truths that need to be pulled out. That's how I read the Bible. I don't read the Bible like, you got to live your life like this. I don't read the Bible like that. It doesn't help to read the Bible like that and try to be so literal with it, because it's, But Reverend Ike is absolutely amazing. I don't know if y'all ever heard of him, but y'all get on YouTube and find him. He's wonderful. But y'all get that book, You Are a Pretty Powerhouse. It's definitely going to help you begin to heal your pretty hurt. Because as a beautiful woman, you've probably experienced pretty hurt. Being rejected because you're pretty, being mistreated because you're pretty, being abused because you're pretty, mishandled, disrespected, all of the things because of your pretty face. And you will face negativity a lot in life as a beautiful woman, because it's a spiritual gift. You have a light on you, and anything with a light on it is going to be attacked. So that's just what it is. But y'all grab that book, You Are a Pretty Powerhouse. It's available right now. The link is in the bio. It's only $15. It's 7 chapters long. It's 12 pages. So it's not that long of a read. But I'm going to go, you guys, to spend more time with my wife on this beautiful Easter day. I'm so glad y'all came to the live with me. I might go back live later. Not really sure yet. But I really thank y'all. Y'all got me at 17,000 likes. I really, really appreciate that so much. I love y'all. If y'all have any questions, y'all can inbox me if you want to do coaching sessions with me. That's also, the link is also in my bio for that as well. Y'all click on that. It'll go straight to my website. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go. And y'all take care, okay? Bye. See y'all later.